Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about resources. Resources is a very important subject because wherever you look, you can see resources. So proper utilization of resources is very important. So we will first understand what is exactly the resources. I have made a small slide PPT on resources. You can just see that what is resources first. Resources are anything that has utility and add values to your life. So you must understand whatever you see around, you just see what all resources. If anything can has some utility, some use, and it can add some value to your life, we can call it as resources. Okay. So now we will see how we can categorize the different kinds of resources and what the fundamental resources are. Fundamental resources are those things that are natural resources because it's naturally available, because everything in this world was a beginning from it's from the nature. So, and the human resources, after that there is human resources. So natural resources, and I am just segregating the human resources from that as a different one. So natural resources and human resources are the fundamental resources available in this world. When we look at the natural resources, we can see that any substance naturally available on earth that has utility and add value to life. So anything. So in different context, different things can have utility for you, use for you, and can add value to your life. So whatever the naturally available natural resources, any substance that naturally available on earth that has utility and add value to you, to your life, we can call it as natural resources. In the natural resources, we can further divide it into renewable and non-renewable. In renewable, we have a continuously available and a biological type, biological, and we can further divide it into forest and wildlife. And in non-renewable, we have recyclable and also non-recyclable. Like that, we can categorize. It's depend upon our choice. Okay, so we will see further with some examples. We can see these resources, what all these resources. So in natural resources, we have renewable resources. It can further categories in continuous and flow, because this continuously available is that air, water, wind, sunlight, and heat, like that. So immediate replenishment, it automatically immediately replenished. So that is continuously, you can feel it as a continuous, no end to it. It is infinitely available, like that. So that is a continuous renewable means it's again if you use it again, it is reproduced. So in biological, we can see that in forest, you can see that forest, we cut the plants, we can vegetation, no, it can again grow, it can also have the seed, and there is a cyclic smaller cycle time for replenishment. It will take some time to replacement, but it is a smaller replenishment time, because it can happen many times in our lifespan. If you take 100 years of lifespan, it can happen many times. It's depend upon the plants or the forest, what we broader sense we call. So you can replenish in wildlife also, animals also, like that. If we and you use them for some certain purpose, it's again available. If it is after its death, it can available, or it can replenished with these its children, or what do you call. So that is have a very smaller cycle time for replenishment. Okay. Then in natural resources, non-renewable, which is not renewed, which is once you consume, that's all, it's gone. So that's kind of this called non-renewable resources. In non-renewable resources, you have uh, recyclable and non-recyclable. Recyclable is that something like that you can use it, and you can further break it and use it to some other purpose, or you can process it and use it to some other purpose, like metal, plastics, or something like that. No, you can recycle it and use it, because some losage will be there, but again you can use it for some more time, we can use it. Non-recyclable resources, which is just used, it's gone, that's all, like minerals, fossil fuels like coal, natural gas, kerosene, petrol, diesel, etc. We just use it, it's gone like that. Because and this has a very large cycle time for replenishment, millions of years. You can forest, again it goes under the earth, and then again it takes a lot of time to change that form to that usable resources like this. So this is non-renewable resources, what we call it, has larger cycle time for replenishment. So millions of years it will take some time. So these are the natural resources available in this world. So now we will see the human resource. Okay, human resource, when human people are working or employed in a business or organization or assigned with a specific task, is referred as human resource. So if you are if you are put into some employable way, we will call it as a resource, human resource. Okay, and here the utility and value addition of human resource in the business or from organization or in the task done is measured and monitored, analyzed and effective utilized as any other resources. Human resources also, how effectively we can use, how it is can be measured and monitored, analyzed, and effective utilization can be implemented for human resources also. So natural resources have utility and value addition to life only with the help of human resources. Human resources only help uh, to these natural resources become useful and give a value addition to other people. So uh, this is the status of human resource as concerned. Now we will see in human resource, the utility depend upon what all things, like human resource have some memory for data collections. Okay, so fact and figures, it will be there available with the human resource, and it can be in a more refreshed manner, like that it sort out and analyze the data, it's like an information. So intellect is there, intellect can do those process, and it has that ability to keep it as an information, and also as a knowledge. When it also have that ability to create the application with that information, do something with that information. So it has the knowledge, and it also has a willpower, that is power to get things done using muscle power and or mental power, resulting in creation. This is the beauty of human resource. So human resources have some data, and it can process with its intellect with some information, and that information can be pushed to as an application, how to do, ability to create. So that is knowledge, and it has the willpower that it can make it move, that is the power to get things done using muscle power or mental power, resulting into creation. That is the beauty of human resource. So human resource adds value to life or business depend upon, so everybody have those kind of data, informations, knowledge or willpower can be useful, because it can add value only if it has the right kind of mindset. That is, it is what keeps the momentum towards the goal. It's what gives enthusiasm. Mindset is what is that gives the energy and positivity in the journey. So if you have the right kind of mindset, that value addition or the usefulness will happen, and it should have the right kind of skill set. That is, it will help to build up set steps towards that goal. So it has that ability, it has the skill ability to build up steps towards that goal. So it has different tasks it has to do, so that kind of skill set it has got. So human resource, and it should know how to use that right kind of tools, so it can leverage the efforts to achieve the goal faster and better. So human resource should have the capability to use the right kind of tools, so that it can leverage whatever the effort it is put into to achieve the certain goal. So that is the one thing. And more than that, it should have some action set, that is some system. So it make the path move with clarity and direction. If you don't have a particular system or particular direction or particular action set, then it is always resistive to get the things done. So it should have proper action set, then it can make the path with more clarity and direction. So the human resource should have the mindset, the right kind of mindset, skill set, tools, and an action set. Then it can add value to life and people and depend on. That's why we called human resources, because those people who employed or given a certain task to accomplish. So we will count them as a human resource. Other than these natural resources and human resource, we have derived resources. I term as derived resources because resources for a particular use derived from fundamental resources. These resources are derived from the fundamental resources like natural resources and human resources. So these resources are the result of discoveries, inventions, and innovations to satiate various needs and wants and convenience and comforts. For people's convenience and comfort, these resources are developed by people. So human resource. So examples of this are that economic resources, so financial instruments, products, etc. Technical resource, engineering materials, machineries, etc. Entertainment resource, art, sports, etc. Teaching resources, teaching aids, materials, etc. Cooking resource, kitchen equipments, food items, etc. Energy resources, solar energy, tidal. So what I call this derived resources is which is derived from the fundamental resources for a particular use. We can term as derived resources, and we can name it as also. So what we call a set of resources derived from fundamental resources used for a particular purpose, and you can name it that way, come under the category of derived resources. You can narrow it down to any extent. We can also categorize the resources depend upon the quality, some certain kind of quality it has. Okay, so we can call it perpetual or everlasting. The air like that, it's everlasting, it's perpetual. The quality is like that. Maintainable, machinery is like that, maintainable resources. Consumable or depletable or exhaustible, call like that, we can just use it, it's just got consumed or deplete or exhaust. And replenishable, that is vegetable, like that you can replenish, get it replenished. Recyclable, like metals, like that you can melt it and use it again. And renewable resources, like that solar energy. So some certain qualities linked with that also, we can group the resources. So that is the thing. And now we will look into the other aspect, like that all the resources are, whether it is it's sometimes passive and active. It can be passive also, active also, depend upon the context. Okay, it's not like that always something is passive. For certain people it may be passive, certain people it will be an active resources. Suppose what is I termed as active resources, that can be used directly and add value. So if you have something like that, you have directly use and it add value to your life. Like I have a camera, I can directly use it, and it can add value to able to make me take photos. It can able to make me use videos. So like that, so any resources directly can be used, add value to your life, is can be called as active resources. Passive resources has potential resource, but should not process by it should process by someone to make it usable and add value. So some resources are there, but you cannot directly use it for your use, because somebody has to process it to make it usable and add value. So example like that, some iron core, if you have to in mind, you have iron ore is there. So iron ore is the potential resources only. For me it is no use for me, so it is a passive resource. So directly I cannot do anything out of it as an individual. So fish in the ocean, it's a passive resource. I can't do anything by sitting here. As fishing resource is a potential resource, but it's a passive resource. And machinery without operating knowledge, I have a machinery, I don't have proper operating knowledge, it's a potential resource, but I am not able to directly take out the use of it. So it's also a potential resource. So somebody has to come and do some process so that I can use it directly, like that. Another example is a metal piece is a passive resource for a common man. I have a metal piece, it's a passive resource, I may not be able to use for a certain purpose. So an engineer comes and make it as a knife, or a blacksmith come and make it as a knife. It can act as a resource for common man. So it's an active resource for a common man. Otherwise, it's an active resource only for that blacksmith. So that's like that. Like that, for fisherman, fish in ocean is an active resource. Okay, but for a common man, it is not. It's a passive resource for him. Similarly, for a steel plant owner, iron ore is an active resource for him. He can directly use it for some purpose to make the uh, iron bar, iron rod, or like that. So that is the difference between the passive resources and active resources. So there is n number of resources available in this world. You can categorize the way that I have mentioned here, and I am more focused on technical resources. In my service, I have seen a lot of resources are lying idle, not used properly, or underutilized, especially technical resources. Because I am an engineer, so my eye goes more into the technical resources. A lot of machineries, a lot of software. You can take anything, like even some knowledge also. It's not theories, principles, methods, all not properly or underutilized. So I am creating a community of engineers who can active these resources, who can help the people to take maximum utilization of this. So if you are interested to join the community and learn and grow money wise, also with your happiness, I am conducting a webinar. You can come to know more about this in the webinar. So if you are interested, you can the below link and can join the webinar. I will be revealing more details about it. So thank you for listening. Hope that this information is very useful to you. And if you have some comments, or if you have some particular resources you want to, you feel that it's underutilized or not utilized properly, it's lying idle because there is no proper support from the suppliers or manufacturers or something like that, you can please comment below, so that some people can take it as a challenge, and they can give able to give support to those, find out those people who have this kind of problems or issues of not able to utilize that particular technical resource, and they can get into that work. So thank you very much for listening, and also liking my videos, or also for subscribing this channel, because more things related to this, because I am now, after a lot of service, almost 30 years of service in private, public, and government organizations, I have now full time, I am focusing on educating people, especially engineers, how they can grow with high income and also happy living. Once again, thank you very much.